Hi guys, this is Liz with 143 Handmade, and I needed to sort through this fabric, and I thought I would just bring you guys along for the ride and kind of share my thought process. This is a tub of things that, you know, in cleaning and whatnot, you know, I don't know how you guys clean, but I will be cleaning one thing and then I will end up with a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't have anything to do with what I'm cleaning, but I don't want to take the time to go deal with all of those little things, and so I'll have a container for miscellaneous stuff. And this was the miscellaneous fabrics. Sorry about my super creaky chair. Hold on. Okay. So this is my, like I said, as I was cleaning the rest of the room, this was all the little bits of fabric that I found here and there and everywhere that they didn't belong. So I'm going to go through it and sort it. Some of this will definitely be for junk journaling. Some of it will be for slow stitching. You know, I'm not even sure exactly what all's in here. I know there's some antique pieces in here. That's most of what this is, but like this piece, not antique. I bought this piece. It was much larger not too long ago to teach my youngest son how to create book cloth and then how to cover a journal, how to make a hardback book. Got a little hanging thing on my nail there. But so that's what this piece is, and I just loved it because it's so, like, the texture is so awesome, and then the salvaged edge is just so pretty, you know. So this is definitely for junk journaling. So I'm gonna kind of scooch stuff aside and create a pile. I'm not sure you guys can see that, but there's a pile here for junk journaling. This is a little piece of scrap from my husband's grandmother. When she passed away, we, she had a little bit of a hoarding problem, and it's, well, you know, yeah, a little hoarding problem is still a big problem for the people cleaning it up, right? But, we went through the clothing, and most of the fabric and whatnot that was in the house had to be thrown out, but I was able to save some stuff, and this is just a little piece that's left. It was such a bright yellow color, but it is stretchy, and it's kind of hard to sew with on the sewing machine, but I thought it would be great either in a slow stitched piece. Oh, there's a cat hair in it. Or, hang on. Okay, they're gonna settle. Either in a slow stitched piece or just in a junk journal, you know, because it's nice and bright yellow. So we'll stick this over here in the slow stitch pile. Okay, I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. This is a doily that, hold on. Okay. We have some ponies, and they're out running, and that always makes the dogs go off. But anyways, this is just a doily I picked up from my local Salvation Army for super cheap. They're like $1. It's crazy. So that will, let's see, do I want to use that in junk journaling or slow stitching? I don't know, maybe I should just have a doily. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to have a doily pile, so that way, just because they can be used for so many different things. This, again, is just a piece of mesh that I picked up somewhere, who knows when. I don't know, I thought it was interesting. I have a kind of an ocean underwater theme in my bathroom, or I did there for a minute, and I used some of this in decorating, and now I have this piece, and I don't know what to do with it. So I think this piece will actually go to donation. Yep, that's going to go in the donation pile. This is just a piece of burlap. I love burlap. I work with this fairly regularly. So I will set that over here. This is a piece of fabric from my grandmother. So that will go in the same spot. It's so thin. So I don't really want to use it in an actual journal or actual, like, quilt or something. Here's a hanky that's got some cat hair on it and stuff, but it's got this really pretty edge. But again, it's so thin. So I'm not sure what I will do with that, but I'm going to put this in with the doilies. Doilies and linens and things. Here's another one that's from my Salvation Army. So, there's my sweetie yelling at me. Here's a piece that my grandmother stitched. And I believe my aunt, her sister, so my great aunt, would have done the crochet on it, because my grandmother did not crochet. But as you can see, it's, oh, sweetie, okay. She's got allergies, so she sneezes a lot. But as you can see, it's got, you know, some staining on it and whatnot, and so, but it's got these really pretty pieces that I could cut out, like just this butterfly, it's all by itself, you know, and cut that out and use it in my slow stitching. I will be starting a slow stitched just because book here soon. I just learned of these, or this idea, from Susan Hiles, and she learned of it from Susan Taylor Brown, I believe her name is. So, you know, I'm gonna jump on that bandwagon. This is cloth that I dyed, but I mean, look at how well it matches that. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and put that together for the Just Because book. Oh, how cute. And yeah, see, I saved this. This was out of one of my kids' clothes. I'm not even sure if it was pants or a shirt or what, but it's such a cute little pocket. Just so cute, right? So that's definitely going in the, let's see, either junk journaling or slow stitching. See, if I put this in a needle book, because I need to make a needle book to have on my desk, because right now I have a little container just up off the camera, and it's only a matter of time before the cats find it. So I need to have something that's a little more contained. So I think this will go in my stack for the slow stitching, but it will be a specific needle book. And this is some more fabric from my grandmother. When she passed away, we really didn't get to deal with it a whole lot, like her stuff and whatnot, because my grandfather was still around and not in the most stable place mentally, and so we had to really just let him decide things. And so he pretty much hung on to everything, and then we had to deal with everything after he passed. So but one of the things I did, that my mother did, is she took a bunch of my grandmother's clothes and cut them up and made teddy bears out of them, because that's kind of her thing. Teddy bears were her thing. But I have a bunch of these little bits left that I don't know, I just couldn't throw away, and so I'm going to start incorporating them into my slow stitch stuff. I have this ribbon that's got some staining on it. I'm not sure where this came from. So, I mean, I could just coffee dye it the rest of the way. Let's see. No, I think I'm gonna go ahead and discard that piece. I need to be a little firmer, you know. Let's see, here's the other, or part of the rest of that. I've already taken some pieces out of it, but as you can see, it's so stained that I don't want to use it. My grandmother made a bunch of these. She always, like, all across the top of her TV, she had one of these runners, across her dresser, across, you know, everything, and every flat surface in her house had a scarf on it. That's what she would call these. She would call these a table scarf, or a dresser scarf, or the TV scarf, or, you know. And so she had a ton of these, and you know, they're all really well used. And but I have some. I did not get all of them, obviously. I was not the only one. But I do have quite a few, and those will be going into some slow stitching projects here soon. So that can go with that. And then, yeah, this is all that other fabric that's left that I wanted it to go with that. My puppies are ready to come in, but I think I'm going to ignore them for the moment. So, let's see. Here's another piece. This is from my grandmother, but she did not do this. This is just a piece that she had. Looks machine or store-bought, but still very pretty. That white on white texture. So yeah, that will come over here. And see, Nana was my grandmother's mother, so my great-grandmother. And these were things that my mother, this was a bag that my mother packed. So these were things that my great-grandmother did. And as you can see, they are, let's see, which way is right side up? Oh, okay, it goes this way. And it says hers. That's an H, an E, an R, and an S. And I think some of this is machine stitched. If not, that's like amazing. No, that is her. Wow. You can see, because all the stops and starts, those are hand stitched knots. So she did all of that satin stitch by hand. But as you can see, this is only part of the pillowcase at this point. So these things will be going into a slow stitch project to honor these pieces. I won't be like, I'll be cutting them, but that's, you know, I need to cut them in order to, you know, salvage them, to do something with them. But I won't be like doing anything over the stitching or anything like that. They will just be cut as little as possible and then put into a book. So, and here's another piece. Same concept. This was a pillowcase. And this has a crocheted edging that's coming off. Or possibly tatted. This might be tatting instead of crochet. I'm not sure which. Sometimes it's really hard to tell. But as you can see, the pillowcase has already been cut. I did not cut them. This is how I got them. So, I put those back in their baggie so I know which ones are which. So the ones in the baggie are from Nana. The ones out of the baggie are from Grandma. So, excuse the dust, you know how that is. But yeah, here's another one from my grandmother. And as you can see, this one, you know, it was already torn. These were things that they actively used on their bed, you know. And so I'm not sure how I'm going to go about salvaging that guy, but I'm going to do my best. And some sort of slow stitching project coming up soon. Okay, this one can just go in the junk journal because this is not from Grandma. This is something I found at the Salvation Army. Super cute though. That goes up there in the junk journal stuff. She's shaking off the dust. Okay, this is just a piece of white fabric. I probably threw it in here for the slow stitching stuff. So throw it up there with the junk journaling. Just shaking the dust off of it over here to the side. Yeah, here's another piece from my grandmother. It's another one of her scarves, as she would call it. You know. And this looks like a freeform design, not one that she purchased, because some of them she purchased with the, you know, with the blue on it where it's printed, and then you can still buy those kind of kits today, and you do the embroidery on it, and then the blue was supposed to wash off. It doesn't always, but I think this one was freeform, but I'm not sure because these do match very precisely. So, but even if it was from a kit, she still did all the stitching, you know. And even the back is pretty. That was something that she always has, you know, she taught me to do a lot of this, embroidery and stuff when I was little, and she always wanted the backs to be pretty too. I'm not that crocheter, or not stitcher. Not, you know, the back of my stuff never looks as good as the front. Here's a handkerchief of hers. And she would buy these with this stuff already on it, and then she would just do random little flowery things, and she always had like 3 or 4 hankies in her pockets or just tucked in her sleeve, you know. I would love to meet somebody who still does that, you know. But yeah, so it's going in the slow stitching pile. Oh, there's my sweetie. Have an allergy attack over there. She's okay, I promise. Let's see, these pieces. Hang on, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it so you guys don't have to listen to her. Okay. I'm back. I went over and wiped her poor little nose. So, but she's okay. She just, like I said, she's a little elderly, and she has allergies, so, you know. But this piece, it is pansies, isn't it? Isn't it pansy? Not sure, because I've picked out similar pieces from the Salvation Army, so I'm not sure on this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it with Grandma's stuff, just to, you know, err on the side of caution. Here's another one that she made, and this started out as off-white, but as you can tell, you know, it has a lot of staining on it, but it's just so pretty, you know. And these are all pieces of the same thing. I did use some of this in my quilt. We're gonna see my latest crazy quilt, so I'm gonna see how well it wears. You know, and we'll go from there. But let's see, so all of that was in the slow stitching. Let's see, I have some more of this. It's all hairy. My cats have been digging in my boxes again. But yeah, here's another one. So I think these were like four-cornered like this on something. That's what, I don't know, that's what's coming to mind, but I don't remember. And they just, it seems awfully bright white for my grandma's stuff. She really liked the cream. You know, even the white was kind of an off-white as opposed to the bright white. But I don't know, I'm not sure. I know that's hers. You know, that was hers too. And then these are just some fabrics that I thought would go with some of my slow stitching stuff, but is not actually slow stitching, so I'm going to go ahead and put this. This piece is so thin, I don't want to use it in my regular stitching, so I'm going to put that with my junk journaling stuff, but this can go back in. This is a high quality cotton, so this can just go back in my fabric stash. And let's see, here's a big piece. This one, yeah, this is another one of my grandmother's, but I have already in fact cut it up and used it as a journal cover on my, I have a pink, a set of pink stuff on junk journals kit kind of thing in my Etsy shop. That this is, let's see, it was one of these roses that I used. Let's see, which rose was it? It was been this rose over here. This is the rose that I used, the matching one on the other side. But again, as you can see, it's stained and torn and whatnot, and so, you know, just trying to salvage what I can. But I'm gonna make some slow stitch just because books and with this stuff, and I'm gonna make several, and then that way I can give one to my brother and maybe send one to my cousin. Here's another piece. This is just the pillowcase, but it has this really pretty wavy edge to it. So that would be nice as like a base piece for the Just Because book. There's a little runner that had like a heart-shaped garland. Shake the dust off on it. So, and this was for my grandma too, but this, like I said, this is store-bought, so this one I definitely don't feel any qualms about cutting up and repurposing. My grandmother loved to repurpose things and come up with new ways of using old things and stuff like that, to making something new out of something old. So, okay, so I have quite a bit here that is antique, that was my grandmother's. My grandmother passed away in 90, I want to say 96, no, 90, let's see, my husband and I were just starting to date, so it would have been 98, and then, and my great-grandmother, my Nana, she passed away in like 85 or 86. So these, you know, these linens and things are, at the newest possible age they could be, would have been from the 80s, because my grandmother did not stitch and stuff in the 90s. She had a stroke in the early 90s, and so she was not able to do this kind of thing throughout the last 10 years or so of her life. And so this is all from, you know, at least the 80s, and then this stuff is probably from, I don't know, at least the 60s. So, you know, I don't know, it's truly an antique yet, because I think antique's over 100 years old, and they're not that, but, you know, very old, very, very beautiful stuff for, you know, a memory book, a slow stitched memory book. So that'll be a project that I will bring you guys along on, and we'll see how I can salvage these things. But for now, they're going to go in a drawer where the cats can't get to them. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today and watching me sort the stuff and see all my pretty embroidered pieces, and kind of have a sneak peek of some of the stuff that's coming up in a slow stitched something. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see what I do with this stuff.